You've been told your whole life to trust your gut or just use your common sense. It sounds like solid advice, right? Like a built-in, foolproof navigation system for life. But what if I told you that your common sense is actually a deeply flawed piece of software, full of bugs and glitches that make you walk confidently into walls? Today, we're exploring why common sense is secretly out to get you, turning your own brain into a master of self-sabotage. Let's get right into it. Number 6, your brain is terrible at casinos. Imagine you're at a roulette table and the ball has landed on red 5 times in a row. A little voice in your head, the one that calls itself common sense, starts whispering, "Psst, bet on black, it's due." It feels right. It feels logical. The universe needs balance, right? Well, the universe doesn't care, and your brain is about to lose you a lot of money. This is the gambler's fallacy. Your brain is a pattern-seeking machine. It's so desperate to find order in the chaos of existence that it will invent patterns where none exist. To the roulette wheel, each spin is a fresh start, a brand new day. It has no memory of the last 5 spins or the last 5,000. The odds of it landing on black are exactly the same as they were on the first spin, but your brain refuses to accept this cosmic amnesia. It's convinced it's watching a story unfold, where the hero, Mr. Black, is destined to make his triumphant return. This isn't just about gambling, it affects how you see the world. If you have 3 bad meetings in a row at work, you might think you're due for a good one. If your favorite team has lost a few games, you feel in your bones they're due for a win. This is your mind trying to write a satisfying narrative for a world that is, frankly, a series of statistically independent and deeply unsatisfying events. Your common sense is essentially a terrible statistician, one who would flunk a middle school math class but would argue with the teacher that he has a feeling the next coin flip is tails. Number 5, the danger of following winners. Every day, you're bombarded with success stories. Learn the 7 habits of this billionaire who dropped out of college. Follow the morning routine of this CEO who only sleeps 4 hours a night. Common sense tells you that if you just copy what the winners did, you'll be a winner too. The problem is, you're only listening to the people who survived. This is called survivorship bias, and it's one of the most dangerous ways your brain lies to you. The classic story comes from World War II. The military wanted to add armor to its planes to protect them from enemy fire. So, they studied the planes that came back from missions and mapped out where they were riddled with bullet holes. The obvious common-sense solution was to reinforce those specific areas: the wings, the tail, the fuselage. But a statistician named Abraham Wald stepped in and said, "Hold on, you're doing it exactly backward." He pointed out that they should be adding armor where the returning planes had no bullet holes. Why? Because the planes that got shot in those other spots, like the engine or the cockpit, never made it back. The bullet holes on the surviving planes weren't showing them the most common places to get hit. They were showing them the places a plane could get hit and still limp home. You're only seeing the data from the survivors, and the most important data is in the graveyard of the failures. This applies everywhere. We celebrate the college dropout billionaires, but ignore the millions of dropouts who went bankrupt. We admire the one band that made it big after living in a van for a decade, but we never hear from the thousands of bands that just ended up with bad backs and a broken-down van. Relying on survivor stories is like trying to learn how to navigate a minefield by only talking to the people who made it across. You're not getting the full picture. You're getting a dangerously optimistic one. Number 4, your personal echo chamber. Doesn't it feel great to be right? To find that one article or video that perfectly confirms a suspicion you've had for years? It's like a warm, validating hug for your brain. Well, I hate to break it to you, but that feeling is a trap. Your brain isn't an impartial scientist searching for objective truth. It's more like a deeply biased lawyer whose only job is to find evidence that proves you were right all along. This is confirmation bias, and it's the reason it's so easy to end up in an echo chamber of your own making. Think of your brain as a personal assistant with a very specific mission: to make you feel smart and consistent. If you suddenly decide that pineapple on pizza is a culinary crime, your assistant immediately gets to work. It will use its search engine to find reasons pineapple on pizza is disgusting. It will highlight articles written by Italian chefs who weep at the thought. It will conveniently ignore the millions of happy people who enjoy it, dismissing them as having broken taste buds. Your brain isn't asking, "What is the truth about pineapple on pizza?" It's asking, "How can I prove my preconceived notion that this is an abomination?" This process is happening constantly, with everything. Politics, hobbies, what brand of phone is superior, you name it. You give more weight to information that supports your beliefs and treat contradictory information with suspicion, as if it's part of a conspiracy to make you look dumb. Common sense tells you to trust your research, but it doesn't account for the fact that you're the one rigging the investigation from the start. It's not a search for facts, it's a scavenger hunt for validation. Basically, your brain builds a cozy little fortress out of opinions you already have, and then congratulates you on how safe and correct you are inside. Number 3, the peak of Mount Stupid. There's a strange, inverse law of the universe that you've probably noticed. The person who knows the least about a topic is often the most confident and loudest person in the room. Meanwhile, the actual expert is the one saying, "Well, it's complicated." This isn't a coincidence. It's a well-documented cognitive glitch called the Dunning-Kruger effect, and it explains why ignorance so often feels like genius. The effect is a cruel double whammy. When you're incompetent at something, you don't just lack the primary skill. You also lack the secondary skill of being able to recognize your own incompetence. You're so bad at it, you can't even see how bad you are. The best way to picture it is the Mount Stupid graph. When you know absolutely nothing, you're at the bottom. Then you learn one or two basic facts and you scramble up a tiny hill. From the top of this hill, it feels like you're on top of the world. You can't see the massive, intimidating mountain range of actual knowledge that lies beyond it. All you can see is the valley of total ignorance you just left behind. So you plant a flag on this little mound, christen it Mount Stupid, and declare yourself king. This is why someone who has watched 3 YouTube videos on economics feels qualified to lecture a PhD. It's why a new driver who just passed their test feels like a Formula One champion. Their tiny bit of knowledge has given them a mountain of unearned confidence. The real experts are the ones who have traveled past Mount Stupid, descended into the Valley of Despair, when they realized how much they didn't know, and have been slowly, humbly climbing the real mountain ever since. So when common sense tells you to trust your confidence, be careful. That feeling of absolute certainty might just mean you've got a really great view from the peak of Mount Stupid. Number 2, that wobbly bookshelf is your masterpiece. You know the unique agony of building IKEA furniture. The cryptic, wordless instructions. The bag of mysterious leftover screws that fills you with a deep sense of dread. After 6 hours of struggle, you stand back and look at your creation. It's a little wobbly, one of the doors is slightly crooked, but it's yours. And in your eyes, it is a magnificent work of art, far superior to any pre-assembled garbage. This feeling isn't just pride. It's a cognitive bias called the IKEA effect. This is the principle that you place a disproportionately high value on things that you partially created yourself. Your brain doesn't just see a bookshelf, it sees a monument to your own labor. The sweat, the frustration, the single tear that fell when you realized you put the main panel on backward, all of that effort gets baked into the object's perceived worth. An economist would tell you the bookshelf is worth maybe $50. Your brain, however, has factored in your emotional damage and has priced it somewhere closer to a priceless heirloom. This is a cousin of the endowment effect, the idea that we value things more simply because we own them. But the IKEA effect adds that special ingredient of personal toil. It's why that slightly burnt lasagna you spent all afternoon making tastes better to you than a professionally cooked meal. It's why a lumpy, hand-knitted scarf feels more valuable than a store-bought one. Common sense suggests an object's value is objective, based on its quality and market price. But your brain runs a different accounting firm where the biggest asset is your own ego. That bookshelf isn't just wood and screws. It's a testament to your victory over a Swedish instruction manual, and to your brain, that's priceless. Number 1, the universe is suddenly obsessed with you. Have you ever learned a new, obscure word, and then suddenly you hear it 3 times in the next 2 days? Or you buy a specific model of car, and now you see that exact same car everywhere you go. It feels weird, right? Like the universe has suddenly decided to revolve around your life, making you the main character in a strange cosmic coincidence. This feeling is incredibly common, but it's not the universe paying attention to you. It's the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. Also known as the frequency illusion, this is a two-part psychological magic trick. First, there's selective attention. Your brain is constantly bombarded with billions of bits of data, and it has to filter almost all of it out just so you can function. For most of your life, the word pulchritudinous, or a blue Toyota Camry, was just part of the background noise. The moment you learn it or buy it, your brain updates its filter. It's like giving a new face to the bouncer at the VIP club of your consciousness. The second part is your old friend, confirmation bias. Now that the bouncer has been told to look out for blue Camrys, every single one that drives by gets a spotlight shown on it. Your brain goes, see, there's another one, I knew it. It's not that there are more blue Camrys on the road today than there were last week. It's just that you are now noticing every single one of them. The illusion feels so real because your brain confirms its own new pattern, making you feel like you've stumbled onto a weird secret of the cosmos. So no, the simulation isn't changing the code just for you. Your common sense is just getting way too excited about your brain's new and improved internal search engine. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.